Hello dear friends. I have wanted to make a pilgrimage all my life to the holiest mountain in the world, but it is not easy. Opinion piece. The axis of world. The center of universe. Mount Meru or Kailāsh. It is the holiest mountain. It is the source of ancient rivers. Its circumvallation gives enlightenment. Werner Herzog documented it on a film. It is related to the wheel of time. It is in a remote area of the Tibetan Himalayas. Let's start. There is no holier mountain in the whole world, and its simple contemplation fills your heart and leads to enlightenment. Mount Meru or Kailāsh is a mythical peak which is considered sacred in various cultures. It is the sacred five-peaked mountain of Hindu, Jain and Buddhist cosmology, and is considered the center of all physical, metaphysical and spiritual universes. It is a high-frequency portal leading to higher dimensions. According to Buddhist cosmology, Mount Meru is at the center of the world. According to legend, Mount Meru was once moved from its place and used by the gods and demons to churn the ocean of milk to obtain the nectar of immortality found on a secret island in that ocean. The Kailāsh is a mountain in Tibet. It is the source of some of the longest rivers in Asia, such as the Indus, which drains into the Arabian Sea, the Satluj, the Ganges and the Brahmaputra, which drains into the Bay of Bengal. The mountain is located near the Manasarovar Lake, or Lake of the Mind, and the Rakshastal Lake. According to Hindu mythology, Shiva, the god of destructions, resides on the summit of this legendary Mount Meru, which is seen in some creeds of Hinduism as a paradise and the ultimate destination of souls. The mountain is located in a very remote and inhospitable area of the Tibetan Himalayas. Pilgrimage. Every year, thousands of the faithful make a pilgrimage to Mount Kailāsh, following a tradition that dates back several centuries. Pilgrims of various religions believe that circumvallating the mountain on foot is a ritual that brings good fortune. According to all religions, that revere of the mountain, stepping on the slopes of the mountain, is a sin. The locals say that demons who have ventured to offend the Lord Shiva in this way have all perished in the attempt. Hindus and Buddhists believe that this circumambulation should be done in a clockwise direction, while the Jains and the Bompo do it in the other way around. Both groups believe that others offend the mountain, so they could go to hell for a while to pay for that sin. The path around Mount Kailāsh is 52 kilometers long. Pilgrims traveled overland from Kathmandu, the capital of Nepal, and also from Lhasa, the capital of Tibet, from where there are flights from Kathmandu and cross Tibet with permission from the Chinese government, and travel across the Great Tibetan Plateau from 3 to 5,000 meters altitude in four-wheel drive jumps, as there are no roads. It is a long journey, camping for 4 nights until they reach a place called Tarchim at 4,600 meters altitude. This pilgrimage have been doing on since June, even though it is still snowing. There are a few modern conveniences, such as sitting and resting places. Some enterprising people have set up stalls selling drink water, hot tea and groceries. Some pilgrims believe that the entire trek must be done in one day to have an auspicious effect. This is not easy. A person in very good physical condition would have to walk about 15 hours at a normal pace to complete the 52 kilometers trek at about 3.5 kilometers per hour. Many devotees fail to accomplish this feat, held back by the uneven terrain and altitude sickness. Other more austere pilgrims make a much more intense sacrifice. They walk the entire circumvallation in prostrations. In a few seconds, the pilgrim lies on his belly with his arms stretched forward, recites a short mantra, makes a mark on the ground with his fingers or by leaving a stone, gets up on his knees and walks on all fours on his hands and knees until he touches the mark, which with his feet or picks up the stone, and repeats the whole process. The German film director and writer Werner Herzog made a documentary, The Wheel of Time, in 2003, which devotes its second section to presenting and detailing the characteristics of the pilgrimage. In May, hundreds of pilgrims come here in uncomfortable conditions, with improvised equipment, and on foot, often with little food and no tents to sleep in, despite the severe weather conditions. Every year, some of the pilgrims who come from the lowlands in India perish, ill prepared to walk the 52 kilometer circuit in such cold and high altitude conditions. Opinion. It is fossilized opinion that Mount Meru or Kailāsh is not a myth. It was the portal from which the avatars descended along with the four-dimensional evolved environment from which the humankind came when they entered the shadows of the lower sub-program of the simulator. More than a few historical restarts have created false histories and spiritually impoverished survivors. All records and maps were hidden after the 19th century restart. In his view, the axis of this world is Mount Meru, and the lands around it are where the Tatars, Hyperboreans and Aryans descended from. They were the true ancestors of the Caucasian races, both in the original 4D program and in the 3D sub-simulation. Indeed, the first Tartars, Aryans and Hyperboreans who populated the legendary ancient civilizations were of greater stature, beauty and advanced technology. Reset News. Message from JFK Jr. We face an evil the likes of which no one has ever seen, because the strings that control the world are inside you, pulling your heart to drain you like a battery. Ghana is abandoning the dollar for gold for international purchases of oil and energy. The next global economic system will not only be fraud-proof, it will track crime. What Elon Musk is cooking up behind the scenes is connected to high-end military technology. Elon Musk to give amnesty to purged Twitter accounts. Although Trump has been reinstated, he hasn't tweeted once. Elon has said that it doesn't matter if he tweets or not, but that his account should never have been unjustly shut down. Elon Musk threatens to create an alternative phone if Google and Apple veto Twitter. Tesla recalls more than 95,000 cars in Australia and China due to technical problems. Politics. Europe fails to agree on gas cap and the US wins. The European Union is upset with the US because it is the only one that has benefited from the conflict in Eastern Europe. Hungary believes that the US benefits from the recession in Europe. Germany awaits Qatar's mercy on gas supplies. German official tells citizens, quote, "Stock up on bottled water and canned food before the dark winter comes." Belgian bakeries close as energy prices rise. Finland to return freight wagons held up by sanctions to Russia. Italy believes that the new sanctions against Russia should not affect the population. Ukraine launches an operation to export tons of grain to Africa. Violent clashes between migrants in Serbia on the border with Hungary. French justice investigates if Macron's 2017 campaign was illegally financed. Cryptocurrency plunge. The price of the main cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin and Ethereum, fell 50 to 65% from their highs. UK. The UK is sinking like the Titanic. A perfect storm is brewing into the UK, with inflation already in double digits at 11.1% and a recession that could be the longest since 1920. UK nurses called the first ever strike in the British health system. Scottish prospectors find 8,000 medieval coins worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Australia looks to India for an alternative to its economic war with China. Spain. Students from Spain, Germany and Russia, winners of the International Philosophy Olympiad. Some 6,000 police and civil guards from all over Spain protest in Madrid against discrimination by the government. A Spanish company will make planes fly on biofuel made from olive pits. The Food Bank of Spain starts its Christmas collection campaign. Be generous. Americas. Chile could pioneer a green hydrogen-powered train. Chilean scientists discover bacteria in Antarctica that are hyper-resistant to antibiotics. Inflation in Argentina is about to reach 100% year-on-year. Digital Summit in Mexico closes with a call to invest in education in Latin America. A National Guard general is assassinated in central Mexico. The strike in eastern Bolivia is lifted after the approval of the census law. Several towns in Ecuador record ash fall from the Cotopaxi volcano. China. Huge protests in Xinjiang, China, over tight restrictions. China's Xinjiang city withdraws restrictions after controversy. China plans to set up a nuclear-powered base on the moon by 2028. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.